Good afternoon, and thank you for joining in for this live education on air with us. Bert was supposed to join in, but I suppose he will join in a little while. But I will hand over the mic to Naren now, and he will take over from here. Naren, it's up to you.
Thank you, Tilini. And yes, I was supposed to start this with Bert with ANGFL, and I think he's running a bit late, so I'm going to get started anyways because a lot of people are waiting. Today we're going to be talking about how to market your firm in the digital age. 5 things you need to know. I'm going to spend a bit of time introducing myself and then go from there. So my name is Naren Arul Raja. I'm 39 years old. I'm the founder and CEO of Dominate Law and Equa.com and Accountants.md. We specialize in helping accountants and attorneys and doctors dominate their market online with exceptional internet marketing. And as a serial entrepreneur, I started out in 2001 and made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of things the hard way, and currently I run a business with 156 people spanning 6 different countries. What we do very differently is that we have a large team that takes care of only 200 clients. So we are able to dedicate a lot of hours, have experts, and therefore help our clients see a 10 times, if not higher, return on their investment with their marketing dollars. So today we are going to talk about things we have learned that we think will help you if you are interested in growing your business through online marketing. The scope of this presentation is for anybody who's an attorney or who's an accountant. So we'll be talking specifically around how to market your business if you're an attorney or if you're an accountant. And some of the questions we'll be answering is internet marketing right for me? Because it is not right for every type of business. So we will get into the details of how you figure this out if this is right for you. The agenda for today is the first point we'll cover is the idea that the old way of trying to sell people things doesn't work in the digital age. People buy, selling doesn't work. Then the next key point that we'll cover is, will organic internet marketing work for me? Because like I said, organic internet marketing is not for everybody. So we will really look at, how do you determine if organic internet marketing is for you? Then we will talk about the 3 pillars of success in internet marketing. Number 1 being, in this new paradigm, you have to show up when people are doing research online. And how do you show up for not just 1 or 2, but for hundreds and hundreds of different search terms? Because if you don't show up when they're doing research before they make a decision, you're not in the game. The second key principle of dominating internet marketing is make it easy for people to choose you as opposed to your competition. So there's a lot of things we'll talk about, from even as simple things like where do you place your phone number and how do you optimize your site to a mobile device versus a big screen, all the way to what type of tools you can use, from testimonials and videos, to make it easy for people to say yes. Finally, the third pillar of success with regards to internet marketing is your reputation online, because 9 out of 10 consumers, before they choose an attorney or an accountant, are going to check you out. They're going to type your business name or your name to see what other people have to say about you. So how do you think about managing your reputation online so more and more people choose you versus your competition? There are a few other topics that we will go through at a later date, depending on the amount of interest we have. And those topics are more, detailed look at the 5 key points we're going to be talking about today. One is called zero moment of truth. And the idea here is that, unlike the old days where you could control, marketing with advertising, Now you can't. And the zero moment of truth is the moment where people are doing research. So we'll really talk about this new paradigm. It's a 30-minute presentation followed by 30 minutes of Q&A on how to think about, this new paradigm that we live in. The second presentation in the series is called Local Search, Search Engine Optimization, and Google Places. We have clients who get hundreds of phone calls, primarily through local search, SEO, and Google Places. So we'll talk about the best practices, the do's and the don'ts, and how do you dominate. Again, 30 minutes presentation with 30 minutes Q&A. Branding. Discover, communicate, and live your brand. That's the third in the series of 5 presentations we'll be doing. This is really important. Trying to stand out is essential for success today. So how do you really think about your brand? And if you're an established business, how do you discover it? Probably you already have a brand, you just haven't figured it out yet. And then how do you communicate it? And I think we also live in a time and an age where living the brand is as important, if not more important, than communicating it. Because people don't trust what you say, they also watch what you do. So how do you think about living the brand? Not just you, but your entire team. The fourth in the series is reputation management and social media. Here we will go specifically around, what are the different types of sites you can use, what are the different types of techniques you can use to build your reputation, manage your reputation. Also, we'll talk about the role of social media and how do you think about social media, how to think about LinkedIn, how to think about Facebook. Is Twitter relevant to you? So we'll talk about practical tips and ideas around how do you, leverage reputation management and social media. The fifth in the last presentation in the series is called automated marketing, content marketing, and analytics. Here we will really get into the details around, how do you market to hundreds, if not thousands, of potential clients, as a group, as opposed to doing it one by one. That's the power of digital itself, right? You can do a lot of things without having to do things one by one. In that context, how important is content, and how do you think about content, and how do you use content across, all different digital marketing channels you have? Finally, the beautiful thing about digital marketing is it gives you tons of information, tons of data that you can use to connect the dots, that you can use to improve results, that you can use to make 6 months from now better than the last 6 months. Right? So how do you look at analytics, and how do you look at all that data to help you grow your business on an ongoing basis? One of the things I'm proud of is that 90% of our clients stay with us year after year, and the reason they do is every single year their business keeps growing regardless of what happens in the marketplace. And analytics is a key part of our secret in doing that. So we'll share some of the best practices and some of our experiences with regards to analytics. So now let's dive deep into today's presentation, which is the overview presentation, where you get a 10,000-foot view on the entire subject of digital marketing. Like I said, the first thing that I want to cover as part of my agenda is the idea that people buy, selling doesn't work. So let me kind of go back a bit. So before the internet, people used things like yellow pages, right? So that's the only way you can find an attorney or an accountant. You just flip the yellow pages, you look at the big ads, and you read the ads, and if you like what you see, you call that person. And by the time you're calling, you literally have no more information than what you saw on yellow pages. So any other questions you have, you ask that person, you believe what they have to say, and then, if the conversation goes well, you go and see that particular attorney or the accountant. Now that's before Google, before people had access to information, in seconds. Now people can find out a lot about you, your business, your topic, from their mobile device, from their, computer, from their tablets, in seconds, right? So fundamentally, the world has shifted and changed. So right now, when you look at marketing, you need to look at not how do I interrupt somebody and sell them more ads, but how do I become part of their research, become part of their thought process, and them wanting to pick a person to work with. So that's really of the key point that I want to start with, because you need to change your paradigm. You need to start thinking about how do I sell somebody to how do I help somebody buy, because that's the only way you're going to succeed in this digital marketing age. Why doesn't the old method work, right? Because the reason it doesn't work is because internet and Google and computers and mobile devices, all of those things put together, had given consumers a choice they never had before. Now they're in control. They call the shots. They do the research. They figure out who they're going to buy from. So in that world of so much information, the average person is researching 10 to 15 things before they pick an attorney or an accountant. So when they are researching 10 to 15 things, and remember, it's not happening in one sitting. It's not happening in a set of 15 questions. It's rather happening throughout the day at a coffee shop when they have a few moments to kill, or they heard about you from somebody, and they accidentally Googled your website and they went to your website, and then they saw other people's website and they're kind of studying you and other people along the way. Or it could be that um, they they have a problem. Let's say they have a specific issue with taxes, and they are starting to research, and they start researching that particular topic, and they ran into an article you wrote on that topic, and now they are curious about you, and they stumble on your website. And so it could happen in all kinds of different ways depending on where people are starting from. But the key point you need to remember is that the old model of let me put an ad and enough people will call me is dead. So you need to really start thinking about when people are researching, what are they researching, what are they looking for, and how do I insert myself in that time the consumer is spending with himself and the internet, and how do I become the person they notice as opposed to my competition. So what is internet marketing? How do you think about internet marketing? I think internet marketing, the best way to think about internet marketing is helping people buy, right? So how do you help people buy? There are three components to it. Number one is you show up, right? Because when people are researching, if you don't show up, they don't know that you even exist. So you have to show up not just for one or two keywords like it used to be, let's say 10 years ago, but now you have to show up for hundreds and hundreds of keywords. As technologies get more powerful and more part of our lives, I think people use Google 6 billion times a day today. They're Googling hundreds of things, not just one or two things. So you want to show up for hundreds of keywords. That's number one. Number two is make it easy for them to say yes. It's so easy for them to look at your competition. They just have to click on the back button and go and read the next result on the Google search page. So in that world where it only takes one click to find your competition, how do you grab them? How do you attract them? How do you make them want to not look at the competition and instead call you? So we'll spend a lot of time on that today, in terms of how do you make it easy for people to say yes online. And finally, they don't believe you because they know that every person who's got online is doing some kind of marketing, so they're going to still type your name and your business name. So how do you think about your reputation? How do you manage your reputation? How do you stack the decks in your favor without compromising your values and your standards, and therefore help convert more people into potential clients? So now we're going to dig deep into the crust of this presentation. So the first point we talked about in succeeding with regards to online marketing is showing up when people do research. I have clients who rank for more than 1,000 search terms. So literally, they are getting people finding them every single month for more than 1,000 different search terms. Now, some of these clients have been with me for 6, 7 years, and that's what we want. We want to keep clients for life. We do notice that usually within the first year, many of our clients do show up for at least 100 search terms. Some more, some less, but that's typically the average. So how do you find these search terms? So there are a lot of tools you can use. Google Analytics is a great tool, and it'll tell you what people are looking for. Obviously, you can study your competition and see what they are doing. So there's a lot of ways you can figure out what are some of the keywords or search terms that you want to show up for. And then how do you think about prioritization? Google Analytics will, for example, tell you how many people typed in a specific keyword, so you can look at the most popular ones. And it'll also tell you how do you rank today, so you can see where you are and how do you need to improve. Step two is helping people choose you, right? I know we have kind of touched on it, but this is the second key point about digital marketing. I'm going to give you an example. let's say I'm looking for an accountant who specializes in dealing with the IRS. Do you have a dedicated page optimized for that keyword? Because if I'm very specifically interested in that exact topic, you need to have a page that when somebody Googles, they will find directly. So it doesn't talk about your bookkeeping, it doesn't talk about all the other things you do, it talks about that exact thing they're interested in, that your expertise in dealing with the IRS. Even an attorney, could be in a similar situation. Let's say you're dealing with you are a person, a consumer who's dealing, with a particular tough labor issue. So you are Googling and you want to find the exact, answer you're looking for, that particular type of, challenge that you're facing. Does your website have a page that's optimized on Google, so when that person is looking for that exact topic, that page shows up? And now once I get to that page, what are you doing to make it easy for me to say yes? You have testimonials from other people who have dealt with the IRS with your help and the kind of results they have. I know in some cases, confidentiality is important, so those are all things we will touch on when we get into reputation management. Where is your phone number placed? Studies show that 9 out of 10 people's eyes usually go to the top right-hand side. So how do you make sure that, your website is optimized in a way that it's going to lead to more phone calls and more people contacting you? And also we know that people are using hundreds of different devices. So is your website easy to read and easy to navigate and find information on a small screen like a small iPhone screen versus a large screen like a desktop computer, right? So you need to make sure that your website is optimized for different screen sizes, and there are different technologies. For example, mobile responsive technology you can use, and assuming your team knows what they're doing, so it's easy for people to choose you and say yes to it regardless of the device they're using at that given time. So these are some of the things you need to pay attention to if you want to increase the number of phone calls and therefore the number of new clients you see. Last pillar of success with internet marketing is paying attention to your reputation and staying in touch with your clients. 9 out of 10 look at reviews before they choose an accountant or an attorney. Do you know what are the top review sites your potential clients are looking at? Do you know any stats from those sites in terms of how many of your potential clients are using it? Do you have a team that's paying attention and managing all these review sites? Because remember, you have to show up for more and more search terms, because that's how you get seen as opposed to your competition, even on those review sites. And when you do show up, how many stars are they seeing? Is it 4 stars? Is it 5 stars? Is it 2 stars? Because we know that most people are trained to appreciate stars these days. So having 4 stars is definitely better than having 3 or 2. And again, studies show that people with 4 to 5 stars get a lot more conversions, a lot more business than the ones with 2 or 3. So how do you think about reputation management and how do you manage it? And like I said, we have a standalone presentation where we'll go deep into reputation management and how to think about this. One of the biggest questions I get asked by accountants and attorneys is organic internet marketing right for me? What is organic internet marketing? Organic internet marketing is where you dominate a market online by showing up for hundreds of search terms organically, by making it easy for people to say yes on your website and on mobile devices, and by managing your reputation. So that kind of a comprehensive internet marketing, is it right for me? So 95% of our clients who have a local business and whose clients have a lifetime value of $2,000 or more see a 10 times return on their investments within a 12 to 18 month period. So let me repeat this. 95% of our clients who have local clients and those clients have a lifetime value of more than $2,000 or more see at least a 10 times return on investment within a 12 to 18 month period. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what is the lifetime value of my client? And are my clients local? Right? So to find the lifetime value of your client, you need to do some basic math. How long will your client stay with you on average? So again, it changes from business to business. So let's say you are a business attorney or an immigration attorney, or you are an accountant. Usually your clients will stay for a long time as long as you continue to provide a good service. So let's say they stay with you for 10 years on average. If on average they're spending $2,000, that means their lifetime value is $20,000, right? So like I said, our kind of marketing provides a 10 times return on investment if the lifetime value is more than 2,000. So 20,000 definitely is a great opportunity when it comes to organic internet marketing, because the lifetime value is a lot more than what you need to get a 10 times return. Now you might have other types of clients, like other types of businesses. Let's say you are an attorney who does personal injury. Again, only one case, one time, but that one case is worth, let's say, $20,000, $30,000. So again, the lifetime value of that one client is significant. Or let's say you are an attorney who's dealing with labor issues, and again, most of the time your clients will only come to you once. Maybe an average lifetime value of your client is $4,000, $5,000. Still, it works. Let's say you are a family, lawyer. Typically, again, most of my clients' average lifetime value is, family attorneys' average lifetime value is probably, $2,000 to $20,000. Again, significant, right? So any one of these cases, you should be okay with digital organic online marketing. If you want to get more technical, you can look at gross profit, and you can look at many other things to really figure out your exact lifetime value and make sure that your lifetime value is significant compared to the minimum of $2,000 that we think is necessary to make this work for you. People Google 6 billion times a day. They look at 15 pieces of information before they decide who to hire. And the number of pieces of information they look at is growing over time. So keep that in mind, right? So people are Googling a lot. So you want to make sure that you are showing up for hundreds of search terms, and even the average person is probably Googling you for many, many different keywords. So you want to make sure that, again, you're ranking for many keywords, even for a single person. How do you know that you're showing up? This is really important because a lot of clients get confused about that. The old technique was just Google it, right? Just go to Google on your desktop and try to Google that exact keyword and see where you show up. That doesn't work anymore because we live in a very different world. And there are 3 trends that are affecting the results that people see. Number one, it's called personalization. So depending on your search history across all your devices, Google will change what you see. The second key point is location. Right now, every mobile device has a GPS chip, and even desktops know where you are based on advanced Wi-Fi technology that's very good at pinpointing your location. So Google knows your location. So Google is changing results based on your location. And the third key point that influences search results is the device itself. Like, think about it for a second, right? A small iPhone can only show 4 things on that page, versus a large desktop computer can show 15 things. Google realizes this, and it also knows that the way somebody uses an iPhone is different from the way they use a PC. So Google will change results based on the device that the person is using at that given moment. Also, it will change the type of information it shows. On mobile, it might show directions more easily. It might show phone numbers more easily because Google knows that people are probably more interested in clicking a button and making a phone call. So for you to truly understand how people see you across all these devices, all these products in a personalized world that we live in, you need to use Google Analytics. So when a client signs up with us, we insert Google Analytics code into all of their web pages, so we can track and manage and monitor exactly how well they're doing and how is that trend changing over time. So how many people saw them online? Is that number growing? How many keywords are they ranking for? Is that number growing? Is the average position moving up? right? So we are always looking at numbers and comparing it for 6 months ago and figuring out where they should be 6 months from now, and then we are implementing it. That's really essential if you want your marketing to work for you and if you want your business to grow. Just having a website is not enough. Just putting up some stuff and forgetting about it is not enough. You have to constantly work on it, and having analytics really helps you zoom in and focus and continually improve things. So here is this example of the marketing pyramid I was just talking about in my last slide. So this is a real client of ours who happens to be an attorney. In the month of September, they were seen a total of 2,652 times. Out of that 2,652 people who saw this particular attorney, 442 of them went to the attorney's website. Out of that, half of them are brand new people who have never been to the attorney's website. Again, Google Analytics will tell us all this. On top, all of our clients, almost all, have us do call tracking. So we can track how many calls the client is getting. Obviously, we don't record calls because most attorneys and accountants are very big on confidentiality, but we can track the number of calls, the duration of the call, and things like that. So you know if the number of calls you're getting is growing over time. Now let's talk about, we talked about 3 pillars of marketing. The first one is showing up, right? So that's showing up for hundreds of search terms. That whole field is called search engine optimization. So here are 3 key points you need to know about SEO for you to really succeed with SEO and rank for hundreds of search terms. Out of the 200 clients we serve with a team of 105 who serve them on a daily, weekly basis, I would say that everyone except one client has done amazingly well with SEO over a period of 12 months and even over a period of 5-6 years, because many of our clients still are with us. And the 3 basics that I'm going to talk about is fundamental and really crucial for their success with SEO. So the step 1, the most important step, is set up your site correctly. And I see 90% of the websites out there are not set up properly. We, for example, spend 200 hours setting up a website properly. Now, we don't charge our clients for it. At least we eat 70% of the cost ourselves, because it's like the foundation. If you don't build the foundation right, you can't build a strong, vibrant building that's going to last for a long time and produce results. So why do we spend 200 hours? We spend 200 hours in building a site because original content is important. So we have a team of 13 writers, and that's all they do. Working with our attorneys, they write 350 plus word original content articles that make a big difference when it comes to pleasing Google. The other thing that I see when we take our clients is they have a ton of bad links. They don't have a team. We have a team of 30 people who do what we call external SEO. And one of the first things they do is they look at how many links do you have and how many of that is good links. If you have bad links, it's better to get rid of them, and Google will provide tools, but somebody has to actually do the heavy lifting. And it really helps us be on Google's good books all the time, and which is essential for making sure that all of our clients are ranking for hundreds of keywords within a year or 2. The third thing is following all of Google's guidelines. Google will tell you how to set up a URL, how to set up pages, how to design a site. So there's tons of guidelines and best practices Google will share based on its experience with its best clients or best webmasters. So make sure that you have teams and you have people who understand how to take these guidelines and actually implement it using HTML, using original content, using Create SEO, external SEO best practices, and so forth. So when you set up your website correctly, a lot of your effort is going into making sure that you're going to make Google happy. The other part of your effort is going to focus on making it easy for people to choose you as opposed to your competition, right? So making sure it's optimized for mobile devices is essential, because if the person doesn't get a great experience on a mobile phone, they're not going to pick you. Testimonials, phone number on the top right-hand side, videos, these are all essential in helping somebody choose you versus your competition. So we have designers, we have writers, editors, all types of different people to focus on this and make sure that the website is set up properly, the foundation is laid right. The second secret to SEO is adding original content, not only just when you're launching the site, but on an ongoing basis. So every month, depending on the number of hours we are putting in for you based on your goals and your competition, we write anywhere from 2 to 10, 15 articles a month. Most of our clients are very successful in their business, so their time is worth a lot. So they're not going to sit and write detailed articles, at least not a lot of articles. So we do it on their behalf. So again, we leverage our teams. Sometimes we even do Q&A recordings with our clients, or we look at pages that they like, and then we base our original content from that. So, make it a habit to add original content that complies with Google on a monthly basis. This is really, really important if you want to continue to grow and continue to dominate. The third and the most important piece of SEO is what's called external SEO. So these are things that happen not on your website, but outside of your website. Just like Google punishes people for having duplicate content, in other words, not original content, Google will punish people for in not following external SEO best practices. So there's a tool called Google Webmaster Tool. You need to use it to remove bad links. And again, you need to have a team to do that. So we have around 30 people in our external SEO team. There are best practices, of course. So social media bookmarking, that's one of the best practices that seems to work now. So we are constantly upgrading our best practices by listening to Google. So you need to have people who are able to take those best practices and implement them. Another key thing that our external SEO team does, and obviously you need to have somebody do, is called NAP, consistency. What that means is your name, your address, your phone number has to be consistent across all the different profiles that somebody creates and manages on your behalf. A profile is a place where there's a page for your business, let's say on Yelp or on City Search or on Avo. And that page will have your phone number, your name, your address. So the name and the address and the phone number has to be consistent across all profiles and also with your website. That's number one. And somebody has to manage it. Number two, all the issues that keep cropping up. For example, I know clients who get duplicate listings. So Google Places might have 3 listings for them, and they didn't create 2 of those 3 listings. So somebody has to go in, clean it up, delete it, or merge it. And keep managing it, right? So these are all part of the external SEO teams, managing your profiles and managing your NAP, name, address, and phone number. Another key best practices that seems to work is looking at your competition and figuring out, especially the good ones, what are they doing that we can learn from, and then leveraging those techniques. So by having real people who actually are putting a lot of hours into this on a weekly, monthly basis, you can actually do real things that Google loves, and therefore help yourself rank for not just 1 or 2 keywords, but for hundreds, and keep that number growing. So external SEO is, again, a really important part of your overall SEO success. So finally, we talked about reputation management, right? So you need to have someone pay attention to what customers think of you. And then you want to also pay attention to what customers are saying about you. So we have a reputation management team. They manage these profiles on behalf of our clients. So they're looking at new reviews you're getting. Is it positive or negative? If it's negative, working with you or your staff to respond to it or take the necessary action. Creating some goals and some objectives. Like, let's say you have only 2 stars or 3 stars. How do we get 4 stars? So then picking and choosing, specific strategies around how do you get your happy clients to write reviews on your behalf. I know it can be really tough for attorneys. We have worked with many, and I know, for example, let's say you are a labor attorney, most of your clients will never be able to say what you did for them because they are under a confidentiality clause. So in those cases, there are some sites like Avo where they could still write a review without disclosing their name. So you have to be smart about what sites to use and how to think about it depending on your particular situation. Now, in the deep dive session on reputation, we'll go into specifics around specific sites and what you can and cannot do and shouldn't do. And also pay attention to it, right? If everybody keeps saying that your front desk staff is rude and not friendly, you listening to that feedback and doing something about it will help your business, because we live in a world where bad news spreads a lot faster than good news. So, not only do you need to pay attention and manage your reputation, but also listen to the feedback and hopefully improve your business on an ongoing basis. It'll tell you what your customers care about, and really, if you focus on it, you can really improve your business. What can you do? Like, this is one of the questions I get asked, and I know we'll go into this in the deep dive session on reputation. What can you do to get more positive reviews? Have your profile ready. Make it easy to share, right? Teach your staff on how somebody at your office can use their own mobile device to write a review for you on one of the profiles that are set up. Maybe even leverage newsletters and emails to follow up with them, asking them for a review, on specific sites. One of the lessons I have also learned is that don't make people sign up to a product they are not already using. So if they're already on Google, ask them for a review on Google, right? If they're already on CitySearch, ask them for a review on CitySearch. So really try to make it about them. Otherwise, you will work really hard and not see results. We already touched on this as part of the external SEO, so managing your NAP. So we have a dedicated team as part of the external SEO team that manages NAP. This team is also adding new profiles on a monthly basis, so the number of profiles increase, and that allows the client to rank for more and more keywords higher and higher, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like a marathon. The person who practices the most and has the most stamina wins. So having teams of people do this for you on a monthly basis and do it properly helps you in the long term. So if you have been doing it for 6 months and you have been spending 35 hours, like the very minimum amount of hours we spend, now that 6 times 35, that's 200 odd hours. That's going to work in your favor when Google is looking at you versus your competition. Now, in a year, that could turn into 420 hours, right? So as time goes along, those hours you're putting in monthly will help you grow based on what you've already done in the previous month. One of the key questions I get asked is, I'm really frustrated with online reputations. The reviews that I have are not true, or they're not accurate, and so forth. So the way I look at it is, the way you need to look at health, right? So I'm somebody who has personally struggled with my weight and so forth. So just because I have a bad day, do I give up? No. I get back on the treadmill and I eat healthy, and I get back on it. So health, reputation is like your online health. So you need to not give up. You need to have that mindset of, this is a long-term game that I'm playing, and continually just chip away at it, or have people who are chipping away at it and managing it and monitoring it and helping you improve on it. Because the better your reputation online, the more clients you're going to see. Social media, right? Again, I won't get into the details because I don't have a lot of time today, but it's a very powerful method for you to build a relationship with existing clients, and we will talk more about it. Like, for now, I would like to say that Facebook, LinkedIn are two of the top ones you should think about. And again, make it about them. So not about me, come and see me, I'm the greatest. It's about, here is an interesting article that you might find interesting, because I know you are interested in a particular topic, right? So here are some fun pictures that we took when we were at our Christmas party. Hey, we have a great team. So that's the message you want to send. So anyway, so really make it about them, and really make it about what they would like to see, as opposed to what you would like them to see, right? So really, if it's useful to them, it's useful to you. So that's the way to think about social media. We talked about analytics. Call tracking, I think, is extremely important. So, the amount of traffic you're getting, the visitors you're getting, at the end of the day, should lead to phone calls or appointment forms getting filled out. More and more people are calling as opposed to filling out appointment forms, because now with mobile, they just have to press the button. They don't even have to punch in the number. And a lot of the advantages of phone call is that you get immediate answers. You don't have to, send an email and wait 24 hours and forget, and ask a follow-up question and waste your time. You can pick up the phone and get immediate answers. So the call tracking is a powerful tool to see how your online marketing is helping you grow. Not only do call tracking for organic internet marketing, also do it for your other types of marketing. Let's say you have an ad somewhere, put a different call tracking number. Now, we offer this as part of our service because we so much believe in call tracking as part of the overall analytics that our clients use. Recap. People buy, selling doesn't work, so change your mindset. Think about how do you help people buy. Is organic marketing right for you? Look at the lifetime value of your client. If it's more than $2,000, you probably can expect to make 10 times your return, 10 times your money within a 12 to 18 month period. Now that you have decided if you have that organic marketing is right for you, what are the things you need to pay attention to? First, figure out how to show up for hundreds of search terms. Understand the basics of SEO. Make sure you have the right team that can accomplish those things. We talked about 3 key points, right, under SEO. One is setting up your website properly, both to please Google and to make it easy for people to say yes. 2 is original content that gets added upfront on an ongoing basis. 3 is external SEO, which includes everything from profiles and so forth. Right, so these are some of the basics that you need to pay attention to if you want to rank for hundreds of keywords. And then we talked about make it easy for people to say yes. And we talked about, the placement of the phone number, testimonials, optimizing for different devices. And all of these things, like I said, we have subsequent presentations where I'll go a lot more detail into. Managing your reputation online, again, an important point. And we'll go deep into this as well in one of the subsequent presentations. So in a nutshell, if you have a lifetime value of 2,000 or more, with your clients, then digital marketing, the kind of marketing I'm talking about here, organic internet marketing, is right for you. But the key to success is you need the right team who has a lot of different types of experts and who are set up and who are able to put in at least 35 hours a month. We do around 25 things for our clients under the umbrella of organic internet marketing, and all those things take time. So minimum you need is 35 hours. Some of our clients in big cities, we put in as much as 200 hours. But I think with 35 hours in most cities, you should be able to get started and see a return on investment. So we are going to make a special offer for everybody here, and that is, if you are interested, we will do a comprehensive study of your marketing. We'll spend around 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll share our findings. So we'll look at your competition, we'll look at you, we'll figure out, based on your goals, what you can expect and what you cannot, and what it's going to take, the time and hours and so forth. So it's a comprehensive marketing strategy around where you are versus where you want to end up and what it's going to take to get there. So it's a limited time offer. We're only offering it to 10 accountants and attorneys. So if you are interested, please contact me or call me or get in touch with our team. Now I'm going to open it up for questions and answers.
Yes, Naren, thank you very much for educating us with all that information. And I must tell our viewers that Bert did try to join, but he does have a little technical difficulty. I will continue with the questions, Naren. Shall I give you the first question?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first question is, one client has left a bad review on Facebook over a miscommunication between them and our firm. How can I handle this matter? Should I ignore it or respond to it? Can I request for it to be removed?
Yes. Let me answer the last question. Most sites will not remove a bad review because, I guess, freedom of speech, right? So people have the right to say whatever they want. The only way you can get them to remove is, I guess, through the courts, so to speak. So I wouldn't go down that road. The first thing I would try is to call contact the client, and especially if it's a miscommunication, sort it out. And if you do sort it out, some of them might even be willing to go and, modify their post or add to their post and explain it. If that doesn't work, then you have to really think carefully. In the sense, you could try to respond online, but then it might start an argument or something even more negative. So If the person is not responsive, then that's the second approach I would take. But I would take it carefully based on the understanding of the exact situation and what do you think the other person might do as well.
Okay, we have a few more questions. Let me give you the second question, Naren. How often should I post in social media accounts? Which is better, Facebook or Google Plus?
Yeah, this is a very specific question depending on the type of business you have. So obviously you need to look at where your clients are, right? If a lot of your clients are on Facebook, obviously Facebook is better. But if they're on Google Plus, then Google Plus is better. In terms of the frequency, typically I find at least once a week is key because otherwise you are just too far removed and people won't remember you. Now again, I think I have to understand a bit more about your business to say how much of your time should you spend on it and so forth. Typically, if I were I would prioritize SEO first by far because 90% of our clients come from search engine optimization because nobody goes to Facebook or social media to ask a question. They usually go to Google. Then I would focus on the website and making it awesome from a conversion standpoint. So having dedicated pages for dedicated topics and then having those pages be compelling and making those pages rank for that particular keyword related to that topic. And then I would focus on, social media as one of the third or fourth things on my list.
Okay, let's move on to the third question we have received from our viewers today. Can organic online marketing bring stable results?
Absolutely. We have had clients for 7 years, and every single month their numbers have improved. Not every single month, every single year. So numbers can fluctuate month to month for lots of reasons, but usually when you compare year over year, I would have to say that close to 90-95% of our clients' numbers keep getting better and better and better. And we also see a direct correlation between that and the number of phone calls. So the number of phone calls also keeps growing and growing and growing. The reason I think this is happening is because for the very first time, a small firm with 35 hours can dominate a local market. And it could be a small market, but by dominating it, that turns into a lot of traffic and more importantly, a lot of phone calls. So for the very first time, I think Google has leveled the playing field where a small focused business with the right team can start growing their business through organic marketing.
Okay, we have two more questions for you, Naren. Let's go with the next one. What are the different ways I can attract more leads?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it starts with the paradigm, right? So remembering that you're not here to sell people, you are here to help people buy. And then in that paradigm, thinking about three critical success factors, which is showing up for all kinds of things on all kinds of websites, including search terms, and then making it easy for people to say yes and managing your reputation online. So if you do those three things well and you connect the dots, what happens is more and more people see you, more and more people like you, more and more people call you. So I think it's a comprehensive approach where by thinking of this paradigm and optimizing for this paradigm, you can grow your number of leads and number of new clients and the overall amount of money you make from new clients.
Okay, and the last question for you today, Naren. Can advertising online sites and in magazines work towards attracting new clients?
Yes, it can, right? But like anything else, you need to test it. So I have a call tracking number to see if it's working for you. But typically what I'm finding is it's becoming less and less and less effective for a very simple reason. You can't research on a magazine. You can't research on an individual site because it cannot give you all the answers as a consumer to help you choose a particular business or not. On the other hand, you can do that on Google. So I'm finding that most of our clients, when they start with us, they do already have a lot of other ways they are marketing, but then they start using a call tracking number and they start tracking, and they notice that organic internet marketing provides 3 to 5 times the return on investment compared to traditional marketing, where you cannot um, uh, provide the control to the consumer who's doing the research. So I do believe, um, it can work, but I don't think it will work as well as organic marketing.
Okay. Thank you, Naren. And I think we have Bert with us. Hello, Bert.
Hello.
Hi, Bert.
I
It's so nice
apologize
that
for
you could
being
join
late.
us.
I had an outage, and it seemed like once you have a power outage, it kind of throws everything askew.
Okay, that's quite fine. And you can take over, Bert, and of course, Naren is still with us.
Okay.
Yes, we just finished the presentation, and we just went through some Q&A. So why don't you add some of your thoughts?
Well, I think in this particular venue of trying to market yourself online, it is a constant changing situation. And when I say constant, I guess you can't have enough of these webinars, because it's going to be changing on literally a weekly basis on how and why and where you can and should market yourself online. The venue and the places and the techniques that you need to go through in order to put yourself in front of the public in a positive manner is just, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, you're just starting to get to the cutting edge of it, and it's going to expand exponentially within years to come. But I think we're right at the forefront of where marketing online is going to be for professionals, meaning accountants, attorneys, people in the financial industry.
I totally agree with you, Bert, and I know I'm glad you mentioned this because we have 5 additional presentations. If people are interested in kind of going deep and understanding the 5 pillars of internet marketing, right? So local search, branding, reputation management, automated marketing, and also this idea called zero moment of truth, which talks about the way consumers buy today is very different from the way they used to buy 20 years ago.
Correct. Well, and I guess the biggest the biggest thing you can point to was yesterday, which was, of course, the Internet Monday, which from the figures that I saw on TV were absolutely through the roof. So, people that literally, I have an aunt that's 90 some years old, and she's online now buying products. So, the people that you can reach through the computer and how you can market your firm is just incredible at this point in time. And I think we haven't actually realized a lot of the avenues that you can go down to find new clients and new perspectives on how to get your firm in front of the public.
Absolutely. I think we live in an age of ideas, so you don't need $1 million in the bank to be successful in marketing. I think if you have a strong point of view and you know how to use technology, you can outwit the biggest companies out there. If you look at most of the companies that ended up, becoming giants on the internet, they started from, as startups, as small companies, and they didn't come from the big corporations. They came from the small business world. Right, so I totally agree. I think if you learn and if you continually understand and improve your understanding of internet marketing, it can really pay off for you. So if any of you are interested, who are listening in, we can do some of these in-depth sessions.
Yes, I think okay, Bert is back. You're there, Bert?
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Still having problems. If you don't mind, who are the other people that are online with you?
I don't think, but we know exactly who are the accountants and attorneys online. We know quite a few people are online, but I'm not sure if we know their names.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Do they want to
so
go ahead and introduce themselves?
I think they are on a listen only mode. I'm not sure if they can introduce themselves, but they are able to ping us questions and so forth.
Oh, okay. And have you received some questions in?
Yes, we did receive quite a few questions. I think around 6 or 8 questions, and then I went through some of them.
Oh, good. So you went on to the Clients Left a Bad Review on Facebook?
Absolutely, we did.
Okay. Um, well, I just want to tell everybody that this is uh, this is the first of many of these webinars we're going to be hosting uh, with Nareen. He is considered to be one of the top uh, persons in the actually North America because he is based in Canada with branch offices inside the United States. But I think you'll find that many of the products and theories that he will be putting forward will help you tremendously in getting your firm in front of well, you know, in Florida, and I'm not sure if you know this, Nareen, but in Florida we have 67 counties inside the state of Florida, and everybody that is licensed both as an accountant and an attorney in the state of Florida has the right to practice law and accounting inside the state of Florida. So the reason I mention that is because, you know, we do these networking events where people come and they network and they do a face-to-face, which is absolutely tremendous because there's just so much computer stuff you can do, and at some point you have to reach out and shake somebody's hand.
Right.
But this, by having the 67 counties, and I think this is also going to give an impetus to some of the accountants and the attorneys. And of course, we have a lot of accountants and attorneys that have specific niches inside their particular practice. They might have something that is not necessarily available in some of the other counties around the state. And I think, you know, I live, of course, and most of the people that attend our events live in the more metropolitan areas of Tampa and Miami and Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach. And these are areas where you have easy accessibility, but there are places in the state of Florida, in all 67 counties, that don't have the accessibility and would love to create a relationship with an accountant or attorney by perhaps searching for them online and finding the particular that they might need in their particular business, and they might need that particular accountant or attorney in order to accomplish a goal that they're looking to do.
I totally agree with you on that. I mean, our business is a living example of that. We have clients in Hong Kong, Australia, UK, you know, 90% of our clients are in the US and Canada, right? And we don't see them face to face, but we have had relationships with them where they pay thousands of dollars a month over a long period of time. So, you know, I think people are very comfortable with hiring the best, regardless of whether they are 2 feet, you know, 2 streets down the road, or you know, whether they are 2 counties away. As long as they're really good and they can help them. So I do think this can also open up your market and your opportunities, depending on, you know, your practice and the way you look at it.
I keep getting bumped off, and I think this is a residual from our power outage that we had. Hello?
Yes, we are here. I just answered. I mean, I commented on your point.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes,
I say I keep getting bumped off because of this power outage that we had here, and I think I'm still having residual effects.
right.
Okay. But and Naren, I must tell you that we we do have taken about an hour or so of the time of our viewers. Would you like to be, saying the last few words to them, and we can close the conversation?
I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and we are just kicking this off, and we will have other webinars with Nareen and with this company, as well as with others, and wanted to make sure that everybody has a chance to participate and reap the benefits of this worldwide company that we've got associated with. I think you'll find that if you start to accept their emails and keep in touch with them, you'll find that perhaps not everything that they have to offer is something for you, but you know how that is. Once you take it all in, there will be parts that will help you tremendously, and there's parts that perhaps you can pass on to other colleagues and clients in your firm and the people that you work with.
Okay, thank you, Bert. And Naren, are there any few words, last words that you would like to?
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate, Bert, for you taking the time to organize this. I know you had some technical issues today, but I'm really hoping that the next few ones, we'll improve and do better. And once again, thank you. And I also hope that the viewers got some value out of it. I try to share the best practices based on years and years of experience working with clients all across the U.S. So. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can email me at narain@equa.com, or you can ask Bert, and I'm sure he knows how to find us. And and I'm looking forward to seeing you in some of the subsequent webinars.
Well, currently your information is, of course, on our website, aangfl.com, and they can reach you that way also with your email address being posted there. So.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, and thank you, and we look forward to doing this again in a little bit. Perhaps a few more people will attend, and I think we can, of course, expand upon the things that you have to offer everybody in our organization. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Bert, and thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our viewers, and a very good day to you. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.